Mad Max Saga, the best movie of 2024?
Let's see.
Ready, steady, go!
So, off rip, just to save you the rest of this video, not to waste any of your time, go see the film. It is A1. I'm talking about whether or not you deep dive into films or whether or not you just go to movies for fun. This is a film that you're gonna want to go see. This is how you do not waste a rated R film. It's crazy to me at how like it's so realistic to where it's not like you're like overwhelmed, like, oh man, this is super bloody. No, 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 no. It is the right amount. What you see in the film, you would surmise that, oh yeah, that would do that to the human body if hit by that. It is, oh my god. Okay, so you still here? Cause this is where everything is spoilers. Like I'm not holding back. Like time to leave. If you're still here, it's your fault. Just saying.
Okay.
Okay, so starting off with the story, I mean, the best pacing. It's like it's storytelling to me done right. The movie is separated within chapters. I guess you can call them chapters because, like, at certain sections of the movie, it says one, and then it tells you what chapter it is, two, what chapter it is. A film, is typically done within 3 to 4 acts, and I was thinking after the fourth one, okay, this is definitely it, and then another one came. And it's like, not to my chagrin or anything. Trust me, I was not disappointed. I think this film it's got to be 2.5 hours plus. If it's 3 hours, trust me, it earns the runtime. I'm gonna look in that. Hold on. Yeah, so just confirm. Yes, it is 2 hours and 30 minutes, and trust me, it earns every single minute. I'm talking about like there's not once where I checked the time, bobbed my head, or anything. The only thing that I did was switch the other side of my seat, just to get a little bit more comfortable. Every chapter is like I just, oh, new chapter. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. Just to stay comfortable because I have the nice little recliner chairs, but sometimes they're not the best. You know what I mean? But hey, we endure. Now, if you've never seen a Mad Max film ever, you don't even know the concept, you can watch this movie, no problem. Like just literally just jump right into it. Like this is your first Mad Max movie at all. Trust me, it does just fine. You don't have to know anything about anything just to know what you're getting into. Like the movie, literally from beginning to end, will walk you through it. If you're new to the series, trust me, this is a great film to start. I would recommend starting at the first one, obviously, but I mean, you can't go wrong going with this one. The movie, I would say, had the most natural flow. Like I said, it's just storytelling done right. You got your point A to point B. The movie does cause and effect very well because this, then this happens. You see the ramifications of certain decisions. Nothing is done by accident at all. And nothing is wasted. If there's a certain element in the movie that is there, it's there for a reason. It's whether it's a callback, whether it's to further the plot, or whether it's just something subtle that eagle-eyed viewers can actually spot. Like everything is done intentionally. There's nothing that is done by accident in this movie at all. God dang, this movie's so good. Okay, so we're gonna go into the acting. This is Anya Taylor's movie. She's the lead and a great one at that. But I gotta speak about my boy Chris Hemsworth, not just because my name is Chris. I'm I cannot stress to you, this dude. Like, if you only know him for Thor, that is highway robbery of this guy's skills. This dude is so proficient in acting that, like, if you've seen any of his other films, you'd be all like, wow. And you play Thor, like, honestly, I think Thor is his weakest role. Let me clarify. Thor, he plays Thor perfectly. He doesn't play it like the comics. Like, Thor in the comics is super gritty. He's tough. He's not the goofball that we have in the films. But I think Chris Hemsworth did a great job of making Thor his own. But this movie, there's not a hint of Thor in it. If you see Thor at all in this role, it's only because you're so used to seeing Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Because these two are two very different characters. Also, Chris Hemsworth is pretty much our main villain here, and this is not his first main villain role. He was the main villain. He was a cult leader in Bad Times at the El Royale, which if you haven't seen it, please go see that movie. My goodness, it's not a movie about him, but like he does great in that, and he's just basically our main antagonist. And in this movie, he's also our main antagonist. If you've seen Bad Times at the El Royale, you could see how like, oh man, this guy has the acting chops just to do way more than what he's done in the Marvel films. Because like it's like he becomes the person. Chris Hemsworth is Dr. Dementis. He's not a doctor. I'm gonna say that he does no medical practice like at all. In the Mad Max era, everything just sounds cool. You know, that's just kind of how things go. Also, he has a prosthetic nose, which is just like perfect because it's subtle. It's not like a witch's nose all out. It's like very very subtle. It's basically Chris Hemsworth's nose just a little bit longer, and it's like eagle-eyed viewers you can definitely see. Like, wait a minute. Oh, okay. But it gives him just enough of a difference to where you can separate him from all of his characters. Like it is done so perfectly. Throughout the film, he wears this like it's a cape, but it's like a tarp. I honestly I forget what it is, but like it starts off white and like it's very synonymous with how his personality is throughout the film. So it starts off white, and he's like he of course you can tell he's the antagonist, but like he's super calm, like he's surrounded by all these killers, but he's the one person that can quell them and everything. But then as the film progresses and we start to see him for who he truly is, there's this one scene where he's got all these raiders, that he's chasing because like he leads a literal army of biker dudes, and it's so outrageous. Like Mad Max always delivers because like he's literally riding a chariot of 3 motorbikes, 2 ropes just to carry both of them. So like he doesn't go yah or anything, but like as he's driving, he's leading the pack, and as he's just going, you just see this army of behind him. It's just it's they did Dementis perfect, and Chris Hemsworth smashed this role. I mean, every time he's on screen, he steals the show easily. At one point in the film, he's chasing these raiders down, and he gets them literally at a cliff, and all of his dudes, gets them down to their knees, execution style, and he's all like, "Yeah, so we've got 20 bikes, but there's 50 of you, so battle royale." Throw some weapons, and that's where we get the ready, steady, go. He literally weeds out the weak out of the already tough raiders, and then adds those people to his group, and he, like at this point in the film, it's just like, oh man, this guy is unbeatable. Somehow, Dementis is likable but detestable at the same time. Charismatic villain is kind of a trope now, but like it can definitely be done wrong. And Chris Hemsworth does the exact opposite of that, all the way right. Dementis is like he's silly, over the top, and like every time you think like oh, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing, he just somehow surprises you every single time, because at some point he's losing control of the area that he takes over, which is called Gastown, and his general, there's already seeds of doubt before he even takes Gastown. Then we do a time skip inside the film, which is executed perfectly, and you can see that like his general broke off with his band of dudes. His whole town is just being in ruins. Everybody's like fighting, nobody's listening to him, and yeah, but once again, he's silly but dangerous. Just whenever you think, oh man, this guy, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, he somehow catches you by surprise every single time. Like, in a nutshell, just some of my thoughts on Chris Hemsworth. Every single time he's on screen, it's his movie. It's not Furiosa's movie. Even when Furiosa literally has him at his knees. I mean, we know the good guy wins. It's a prequel. Come on now. But, like, literally, every time he's on screen, he steals the show easily. Anya Taylor-Joy. Admittedly, I don't have too much experience with this actress. I have seen her in like I'm not even gonna pretend to name the films, but I've seen her in films before, and she's usually like the teenage girl. I think she was in this one Viking movie. She was a love interest, and I mean I've mostly seen her in her medieval films. I know she's done some modern, of course, but like I think she excels for the character that she usually plays. She's got her really, she's got the slender look and the pretty face and everything. So like she's a very good damsel, But this role, she's at the forefront. I mean, she is doing her thing. Anya Taylor-Joy plays Furiosa so well. It takes the whole girl boss mentality thing to a whole new level. Like it's this is how you properly do girl boss, because this movie is completely devoid of the message. Shout out to Critical Drinker, you know, best around. But you can literally see her entire progression in this film, because this is her film, and you know, you see to where she's weak and frail and can't do anything for herself, all the way to now, and where she's taking the lead, and she has this love interest in the film, and he's our pseudo Mad Max, you know, like literally I thought, like, is this supposed to be Max? But it turned out not to be Max. Played by Tom Burke, Bjork, one of the two. But he's our male role model stand-in, and you know, usually movies that are comprised of the message typically has, like, you know, the dumb, overbearing, brute, hyper masculine. He's basically the opposite of the protagonist. And here he plays a mentor role, like quite literally mentoring Furiosa into what she is, and then later becomes, like, I guess you could say, a father figure slash love interest. I know it's kind of weird to say, but like, you can kind of see in the film, Furiosa sneaks on to Immortan Joe's rig, you know, and this guy, our Mad Max, I'm gonna call him Dollar Store Mad Max. Our Dollar Store Mad Max, you know, he's known for just always doing the job. He's the best driver we got. You know, if there's a job of delivering something or getting something to point A to point B, he does it all the time, every time. And, you know, doing this within the Mad Max universe, it comes with a subset of skills. You can't just do this and then, you know, suck at what you do. So him having this legendary reputation, her sneaking onto the rig, she starts doing her badass stuff. You know, the rig's getting attacked, and you know, she gets hurt at the very last moment because she points a gun at him. He dupes her. You know, he's objectively a better fighter. He knows the roads better, and he dupes her, kicks her out the car. She gets hurt, and he just keeps driving. But, you know, just whenever we think all hope's lost, and she just, like, looks at the road and is like, okay, well, I guess I walk. We just hear his voice, and then he's all like, where did you think you were going? You know, and then they have a little back and forth, and then he's all like, hey, look, I tell you what, you know, I don't know where you're going, but I can see you got some fight in you. You got heart, kid. I'll show you everything you need, and I'll make sure you get where you want to go. You help me out, and I'll help you out. And yeah, and he's just a very good male role model. You know, they don't ever overtly, like, kiss or like make love or anything like that, but like this is how you do a male figure empowering a female character. You know, like this is why I say it's completely devoid of the message, and that's why it works. But yeah, our Mad Max stand-in, it like he's pretty much the driving force for Furiosa towards, you know, I would say the second half and ending of the movie, because he's basically what makes her Furiosa. You know, he puts the fury in Osa. But as far as the whole girl boss thing, like, this is why I say it's done right, because a lot of our male characters back in the day, you know, it was pretty much all male dominated, and you know, it was always just, you know, generic dude, badass. You know, it's just how it was. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, all those figureheads back in the day. You know, we're used to seeing, like, a masculine figure, and he's just good. You know, and we're being okay with that. And I still don't think the cultural zeitgeist is ready for a strong female character just being good, because they're always done so wrong. But with Anya Taylor-Joy, I mean, we see her progression from weakling to badass, and that's how you completely make a girl boss character work. Phil Minto, he commentates over this all the time. You can't just tell us somebody's awesome and then, you know, that's it. They're awesome. Period. You gotta give us some type of progression. You know what I mean? And Anya Taylor-Joy, we see her progress from little weakling, literally taking the plunge, to badass. Also, the likeness is, like, too good. When I say too good, I mean, like, the actress that played Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road, Anya Taylor-Joy. You can see how Anya Taylor-Joy turns into her. The little girl that plays Furiosa, whenever, you know, she's a little girl, you can see how she turns to Anya Taylor-Joy. You can see how Anya Anya Taylor-Joy turns into the actress from Mad Max Fury Road. It's all seamless. You could literally watch Furiosa and then watch Mad Max Fury Road, and it will be just fine. Or you can do it in reverse, and once again, it'll be just fine. I mean, well crafted film, cinematography on point. Okay, so one of the main things that is like excellent in this film is callbacks and references. So at one point we do see Max whenever Furiosa's like pretty much at wit's end. I think this was like whenever her love interest just died, I want to say. Basically at some point Furiosa's just, she's literally just limping in the desert with crows surrounding her because they know, not crows, vultures surrounding her because they know, oh yeah, she's about to check out. And she literally passes out, camera pans out, and we see the interceptor. I don't want to say a blob of Max, but like, you can't really tell it's Tom Hardy, but like he's got the same Max mannerism, and plus it's Max, it's the interceptor. He's sitting there eating and everything, so it's like they made Max's cameo perfect. Like he looks over and he's like, oh snap, somebody's passed out, and then like it just like does like a quick cutaway, like a comic book cutaway of like, he gets her help. She's back at Immortan Joe's place. I believe it was Immortan Joe's place. Here's how well crafted this film is. So, if you've ever played the Mad Max video game, which you should if you haven't, because it is one of my top 10 favorite video games, and that whole stereotype of movie video games being bad, yeah, it shatters this completely. He doesn't have the Interceptor in this game. He has the Magnum Opus, but then it gets destroyed by Scrotus, all this good stuff, but that's another story. But in the video game, the lore is expanded upon, and there's Gastown in it, and Gastown actually makes a appearance in the movie, like literally just a whole ass Gastown. I want to say it looks 1-to-1, but I definitely would be lying to you because it doesn't look 1-to-1. But either way, it makes an appearance, and the game is considered non-canonical, but like it literally ties in like perfectly. So like it can say it's non-canonical, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's pretty much spiritual successor canon, if that makes sense. There's one like discrepancy I really do have. It's so weird that they did this too. I really want to know like where did this choice come from. So Immortan Joe, also Immortan Joe, the actor for Immortan Joe, may he rest in peace, from the Mad Max Fury Road, Hugh Byrne. He sadly passed away in 2020, but he was replaced. His replacement was Lachi Home. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but you did excellent. You can really tell how like Immortan Joe progressed to the Immortan Joe in Fury Road, because like in this film he's a little bit calmer. He's still got the equipment on. He's still on basically life support, but like he's a lot more calmer because he's got a handle on things. And Immortan Joe's kind of like he's the boss. You know what I mean? Like he's not our main villain, but he's the big boss. It's like he's got everything handled 25/8, and even when things look like they're going wrong. And in Mad Max Fury Road, you can see like he's starting to lose a handle, so you can see that progression of anger because I mean his wives were stolen, so it's like But once again, another side tangent. So Scrotus, it's so weird to me. So Nathan Jones, his character is Rictus Erectus, and Scrotus, his brother, is a completely different character. They're two separate entities, and it's so weird because in the Mad Max video game, Rictus Erectus, he looks just like Scrotus in the video game. So it's so weird that they just didn't name him Scrotus. Like why is his brother a separate entity? It's like, did his brother die and then he took on his mantle, or did he kill his brother? It's like, why was this character even placed here? Because if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't in Fury Road at all. If he was, my mistake. But why not just keep Rictus Erectus as Scrotus? Because literally, he looks just like the character in the video game. Max sees him, puts the chainsaw on his head. Like, he literally has 1-to-1. He looks just like him. So it's so weird that they made them two separate characters whenever Rictus Erectus could have just been Scrotus. But it is what it is. The game's non-canonical, but either way, it is. In my opinion, it's a fumble on the film's part, but like out of everything it does right, I'll take it. Quick little honorable mention: the Octoboss. He's that dude in the all black, with the cool horns. This guy, he was played by. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm just gonna tell you right now, Goran Clout. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But he is an excellent side character. He's basically Dementus's Chris Hemsworth's character. He's his general, and literally in the first half of the movie, you can see the seeds of doubt being sowed. And like I said, that is, I think it's like a 15-year time skip. You can see the how that little seeds of doubt was progressed into the full blown separation. So, like I said, the movie flows perfectly. I just wanted to acknowledge that actor because, man, he did a excellent job and barely any screen time. Now, I'm going to do a comparison between this film and the new Planet of the Apes film. I know it's like, how can you compare these two? But trust me, I have a whole introspective I'm literally going to go right into. But, stay tuned for that. But I speak on that because of the CGI. Now, CGI is very controversial in movies. Of course, practical effects beats all, but CGI is a necessary evil. And at this point in our day and age, it can be done right, it can be done wrong. You've seen The Flash, you've seen the first Planet of the Apes films. I mean, all the Planet of the Apes films. Let's be honest. But this movie has like the best use of CGI because I don't know where it was shot. It could have been shot in like New Mexico or like the Sahara Desert, somewhere with sand dunes, somewhere in the Middle East. But you can definitely see where well, to the untrained eye, you're not gonna see the CGI. But I watch Corridor Crew. Shout out to those guys. They're VFX artists. Their studio that breaks down everything. So like I can definitely see where the CGI is, but it even if you're able to see it, it looks so good to where it's like seamless. Like honestly, if I was comparing this with like Planet of the Apes, something that's very CGI dominant, this movie objectively has better CGI, even though there's less CGI. Solely because it's used in the most uncanny spots, like throwing a grenade or characters looking up from a bird's eye view. Like it's done right, and some of the best CGI is like CGI that's subtle, something that you just wouldn't notice. Obviously, Planet of the Apes, you're not gonna have walking, talking apes for real, and if you have practical effects, I mean, we've seen the old movies, you're gonna see that, but I'm not gonna get into that. That's gonna be the next movie. I just really want to shout out the CGI team for this film, or teams. I'm pretty sure they had multiple studios working on it, but the CGI in this film was great. Every scene just hits perfectly. Like I said, the untrained eye, you would not tell, and knowing that I can tell, immersion wasn't broken not once, like perfection. So I could do a full deep dive over like the film from A to B, but like honestly, it's like I said, this movie is film perfection. Arguably the best film of 2024. If you like Mad Max, or if you like good movies, go see this film. This film is excellent. I'm talking about. It was so hard for me because I saw it literally yesterday as of this recording. It was so hard for me not to buy another ticket because I had to go work out and all that good stuff. And it's like, do I really want to work out or do I really want to see this film again? Because my workout was about 2 hours and 30 minutes. And what else was 2 hours and 30 minutes? Mad Max. So, it was super hard for me not to go back and see this film. But like, I'm definitely going to go see it again sometime soon because it's literally worth multiple watches. I'm the type of person that doesn't like going back and watching films because once I've seen it, the mystique, it's gone. Because when you watch it for the first time, there's nothing. It's like opening a fresh bag of chips and smelling it. It's like you don't get that again if you reopen the bag. But this film is definitely worth it, and I definitely would like to support it because we do need more Mad Max films, and I'm happy this took as long as it did. It was cooked, baked to perfection. The writing was excellent, I'm pretty sure it was produced during the whole writer's strike and everything. And if it was, then, well, not if it was, and somehow it did not suffer at all. Writing was excellent, characters were excellent, CGI was excellent. 10 out of 10 film. Go see Mad Max Furiosa. Daddy, go. Oh, what a lovely day. Ah. Also, man, Immortan Joe is like so good. At one point, Dementus calls out Immortan Joe, like he just goes right up to the Citadel. He's all like, "Hey, go ahead and surrender, bro, because I'm just gonna take everything from you." And Immortan Joe literally doesn't say anything. His lackey does, and his lackey says, "Bro, if you want to keep these negotiations going, just pick one of my war boys. Just one of them. They're literally surrounded by war boys. They're all up at the top. Dementus and his crowd is at the bottom, and Chris Hemsworth literally just picks one. He just, all right, that one. Well, he gets his lackey to do it, but like he's like, all right, that one. One guy steps up, he's like, no, the one to the right. He's like, oh, all right. Chromes up his mouth, and literally he just walks over, grabs two boomsticks, jumps right off, and just boom, like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Immortan Joe just walks off like, yeah, whatever, bro. And his Immortan Joe's advisor, he's all like, yeah, so you're trying to take the Citadel, bro. Anybody who you would have picked would have done that, and we have thousands. So yeah, go ahead and leave. And then all out war just breaks out. Like it was one of like the best scenes in the movie. Yeah.